mentioned by Mr. Williams, there is a companion ordinance getting its first reading tonight to allow for the title to be conveyed from the Onesto to the city. That, by revised code, by Ohio state law, has to happen before this council can authorize it to, if it chooses to do so. There are moving parts here. The other moving part is the school board, where they are on this, the valuation for tax purposes, and trying to fit this together legally. As you all know, we consider different alphabet things here. The CRA, Community Reinvestment, the EZA, Enterprise Zone. This seemed to be the only thing that could fit to help, and it is unique. We've not done these before, not many anyway. So we're trying to work to make this all fit together in phase by phase. So next week there'll be another update on Monday.
Okay, good.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this more. The 25% that they will be paying in taxes will exceed what the building's currently worth. And what an empty building will bring you is exactly nothing. So the 25% will exceed what it's currently worth and what's currently being collected. It's technically a tax increase. We're just evading stuff. You're evading stuff that's on air. It's in paper. It's never been put into effect. You're not talking about factual dollars that you're rescinding or giving back to someone. You're simply saying we're going to give them a break on the increased value. Again, without this work being done, I've got a 12-story empty building that stinks. We don't have it now. So this is the school board, everybody will collect more money than they're currently collecting with a 25%. Thank you for the floor. I appreciate it.
Okay, that concludes.
One final question. You heard discussion at council work session tonight about the Onesto Hotel.
I did not hear all of that because I was involved in some things, but I did hear part of it now.
And of course, just summarize it for you as I understood it, is there some concern that there's a request by the developer for a 75% tax abatement. Mm-hmm. And of course, Councilman Hawk chimed in and said, well, 25% is better than no percent. Do you share that point of view, or are you concerned that it could be a real problem on the revenue stream for the schools and for the city?
Well, I think Councilman Hawk is right on this one, that getting some of something is better than getting all of nothing. And this is a building that's sat empty for decades, and we have a developer who wants to invest millions of dollars in this thing to make it a functional building that's actually going to attract residents and create economic impact in our community. That's going to be far more beneficial than just a few apartments. It's going to infuse the whole area of downtown. So I think it's really, really important for us to make sure that this happens, and whatever we can do to help, we should do. And again, it's a very complicated formula. When you're talking about tax credits and tax breaks and TIFs or tax increment financing or tax credits or those types of things, it gets very confusing because it's hard to understand what money is going where and when and how it works. But what I can tell you is every community in the United States offers tax incentives to attract businesses and development. And if we do not do it, these developers and businesses that are coming to our community are going to go somewhere else. And this 5.1% unemployment rate is not going to be able to be maintained if we're not making sure that we're business friendly and do what we can to help these corporations invest in our community. They create jobs, which helps people work. They pay taxes, and our economy grows.
So is it a deal killer if council doesn't go along with the Onesto tip?
I can't speak on behalf of the developer on this one, or whether that will kill the deal or not. But I can, because he's pretty far invested in this. But I can tell you that it's a pretty important part of the process, and hopefully he'll be available next week to answer any questions that the councilmen that still have confusion or concern on it. Those councilmen that aren't sure or don't feel comfortable with it, they ought to have an opportunity to sit down in front of him, and vice versa, so he can answer their questions. But I believe it's important for our city to have the Onesto as a filled, active, functioning building, and this will certainly help that.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.